Okay, hi everybody. We're back with another one of our series of vlogs here with the Young Professionals Network, the professional development team, me and Jay Tyron. Sitting here with John Ang from the National Alliance of Youth Sports, his Chief Operating Officer. We're going to be talking a little bit today about what NACE has to offer. You know, you guys came to us with some of the ideas of what we can do coming up this year, and one of those ones was about coaching, certification, and parent training. And if there's anybody that's an expert on this topic, it would be John and his crew down there at NACE. So, John, I want to welcome you. Hopefully your weather's a little bit better than it is here in Ocean City, Maryland, one day away from spring. We just got 6 inches of snow. But you can see I do have my beach picture here behind me, so I'm still dreaming, so.
Yeah, we do.
Welcome.
Florida.
Yeah, certainly. So we're going to go over a few things. I got a couple questions for you, John. Right off the bat, I guess, could you explain a little bit about the importance of certifying coaches at the youth sports level?
Sure. Ron, if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't be doing my job very well because I've been doing this for over 25 years now. So, when we talk about coaches training and the importance of certification, probably the number one thing that comes to mind with Parks and Recreation professionals is, wow, how are we going to ask volunteers how to do this and, how to go ahead and get trained when they're volunteering their time, and then we're going to tell them maybe even they have to pay for a certification or pay for training in order to be able to have the privilege to come out and coach. So, we've been answering that question for a long time, and over the 32 years now that we've been operating as an organization with the NYSCA program, our certification program, being the main thing that we do. The answer to that question is pretty easy, really, because the first thing you got to think of is what value do you put into those programs? When you talk to a parent about a child going to school, would you rather send that child to a school that has just a potluck teacher, where you get a teacher that you don't know, what their qualifications are, or do you want a teacher that has some sort of certification and you can understand, like here in Florida, to teach elementary education, you have to have a master's degree to be able to teach. So a basic level of training adds value to your program. So if you're out there charging, $50, $60, $70, $80, $100 for youth soccer, let's say, and that parent is signing that child up for that program, I think the expectation should be that individual should be trained. So that's a plus. It's not a negative. The individual themselves would probably welcome that kind of training to be able to say, hey, let me understand not only the philosophy of what I'm going to be out there talking about to these kids, but give me a little bit of education. Sure, I might have played it in high school, I might have played it in college. But A, what is the department looking for, and what kind of philosophy are you looking for to me to coach these 8-year-olds or these 9-year-olds? And B, maybe you can give me some help with teaching skills in that particular sport.
Yeah, I know we certify all our coaches in all of our leagues here in Ocean City. And, it is for a professional, it is somewhat time consuming because it's always hard to meet the schedules of your volunteer coaches, because you have to remember that they are a volunteer, and you're probably, when you do these types of things, if you're a certified clinician, it's going to take time to get all your coaches certified. But the impact that makes, on the program itself is tremendous. I mean, I've heard, we're one of the few people in the area that certify all of our coaches. But there's definitely a tremendous impact in our programs, and our parents love it. So.
Yeah, I think you would probably say the fact that you do that and you take the time to actually do that in live clinics is one thing, and you probably get great feedback from the parents that have the kids participating in the programs because you do that and you take the time to do that, and they appreciate that. The other thing is, in today's world, when we started this back in 1981, no one else was doing any training, and we were the only organization that really started it. But now, as you know, if somebody's affiliated with a Little League or an AYSO soccer or a USA football, they're doing trainings also. So we've got a lot of other organizations doing training. So it's not just us. And then we have to be in today's world, we have to understand that some volunteers just aren't going to have the time. So to offer an option to be able to go online, even though we don't encourage it, we do have that option to be able to go online and get the same kind of information and do it at in the convenience of their office or at their house, to get that training.
Right. And I think we've been pretty fortunate that we've been able to have our coaches come to these clinics. Number one, but the dialogue that's created between the coaches, the questions that get asked that would never be asked if you weren't in a face-to-face. I think the benefit of that is it's very large. So, I guess we're going to jump into another aspect of youth sports, and I think all of us in the field are aware of this, including coaches and those people that run the leagues would be, what do you offer as far as parent training? I think we've all seen the parents in the stands where we think that, we've actually gone to the step and created some cards about sportsmanship and hand them out, if somebody's displaying good sportsmanship. And that can believe, that was stemmed off of something that, one of my coworkers, was able to dream up. And, if a parent's, not displaying good sportsmanship, but just a little reminder, but what do you offer as far as parent training for programs?
Well, for one, I think it's great that you guys are taking this step, because when we talk about parents, we talk about the importance of being proactive with parents. It's really bad to go into a season and not have a plan for situations that are probably going to happen, whether it's just a stressful situation in the stands or maybe even up to a physical altercation that can happen. You have to have a plan for that so that people don't think you're making it up as you go. So as far as what we do with our program, we have a program called PAYS, which basically hands to the Parks and Rec professional, here's an orientation program that says, here's what you're going to be faced with as a parent, especially for these first-time parents that come in and don't understand the emotions that they're going to go through sitting in the stands. When we give talks about parents, a lot of people, whether it's at NRPA or one of the state conferences, we always talk about there's a reason they don't let parents come into the classroom watch your kids when they're taking a test, because we can't handle the emotions of watching our kids fail or succeed, really, in this environment. And that's exactly what we do with youth sports, except we have stands, and then most of the time is what looks like a big cage, and then the kids are on the other side of that cage, and we have every element of success and failure going on in the field. So the emotions that go with that are pretty intense, and parents don't understand that that's going to happen. So it's important to let parents know that this is what's going to happen, and this is our expectation of you. It's different for different age levels. When you have a five-year-old in a soccer program, you're going to feel a lot differently watching that 5-year-old out on the field than you would your 12-year-old playing in a soccer game. What happens when they fall down? What happens when it looks like they might have gotten hurt or injured? Your emotions are tremendously different based on those age groups, and it's important for you to know that going in. The second thing is to kind of empower parents to be partners with your program. One of the things that we do is we have an online evaluator. So at any time they can go home and evaluate that coach. Anonymously, they can feel that they're given that input so that they don't have that stress. A lot don't want to question the volunteer that's out there in the field because they were able to go out there and volunteer and the parent didn't step up. But giving them an outlet to do that and send the message not only to the coach that this is what they feel like they're doing well or not so well, but it also gives the administrator of that program some feedback on what's going on. And what's important about that aspect of it is we don't wait till the end of the season to say, hey, you know what? You really didn't do a very good job and you could have done this better. Well, the season's already over. So that's really important for the parents also.
Yeah. Well, with the National Alliance for Youth Sports, how do you work hand in hand with the Recreation and Parks Agency? What is the process if somebody's not involved? How does that partnership work?
Well, we have a long history, not only back with NRPA, but all the state associations that we try to work with. We try to go to spring conferences and fall conferences every year. We're coming to Maryland this year. I'm going to New York on Monday. Been to South Carolina, California. So we try to get to where you guys are to tell you about what we're doing. But really, our history in the 30 years that we've been doing this is to set up a chapter. 85% of our programs are parks and recreation agencies that are either running their own programs or overseeing programs. So I'll give you a quick look. If you're running soccer and basketball and you're outsourcing your fields for a lacrosse association or a baseball association that are using your fields, you set yourself up as a chapter for your programs, and then those other associations would be sub-chapters under your group. So the Parks and Rec professional can see if these people are doing evaluations, if they're doing trainings. We've added to our trainings concussions that have been approved by a lot of state health organizations, bullying prevention, and protecting yourself from abuse. All these are for parents and coaches. They're all absolutely free for anybody that's involved with our programs, and you can actually monitor that. So if you're enforcing concussion training, you can have that concussion training in your database of all your coaches. And again, there's no cost to do that. We have an area where they can add background check information or screening information. Whether you're working with the local police department or a national company, you can put your check results in that database. So, and you can also require the people that are using your fields do that. So then you can sit at your desk and see that your soccer programs have your coaches trained. Association A, Baseball Association A over here has theirs chained. They've had their background checks. We're requiring concussions for that field, and you can see that kind of thing too. So that's how we work together with the department. And I'll be honest with you, our whole mission is to make the Parks and Recreation professional who's involved in youth sports life easier. Now, there's a lot of people that don't take advantage of all the things we offer, but there's a ton of free resources that we do offer, and all you have to do is, look at our website to find out what those things are.
Great. We talked a little bit about parents and coaching, but just recently you guys have rolled out a new program for participants, for the children in the program, a program called Let's Talk Sports. And I know that we've been a participant of it. I think we were actually involved in the pilot program here in Ocean City. And, it's amazing how many kids we had actually go ahead and actually proceed through the program and finish the program. Can you talk a little bit more about that program in particular?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic concept. And we offer that two ways. It's kind of like what I mentioned with the concussion training. We offer that as a free program. Anybody that can get on our website and go over to the parents section and click on Let's Talk Sports. The idea is that, kids are on their computers all day. Kids are coming home from school, doing their homework, and they're jumping on the computer. So that's kind of the place where we can interact with them as parents. So we sit down and we say, what are all the things that we want to learn from sports, from our participation in sports? What do we want our kids to learn? We don't really sign our kids up for 5-year-old soccer so that they can get a pro contract or get on the high school team or get on a college team. We really hope that socialization, learning about sportsmanship, learning to play together as a team, dealing with winning and losing. So Let's Talk Sports goes through a series of questions, a series of scenarios with you and the parent or you and the child, and allows you to pause the program, discuss what situation happened, and then see the correct answer. And it's a really neat thing. And again, it's just one of those things that we offer as an organization. It's actually connected to our parents program. If you have a pays membership, you can see it right there and do it with your child. But you don't even need that. You can go to the NAES.org website and just click on Let's Talk Sports and find out all about that program.
That's great. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with us, discuss what you guys offer. If somebody wants to get more information, is there a phone number or is there a website or something that these people can go ahead and check out?
Yeah, go into the NAES.org website, and I would encourage you not just to go on and email us, but actually look at the free resources, get to find out what we're all about. If you want to learn about starting a chapter, there's a button you can click to start a chapter, and it tells you what that means. There's absolutely no cost to set up a chapter if you just want to try what we're doing. But you can call our 800 number, 800-729-2057, and talk to one of our chapter specialists, and they'll put you in the right, to talk to the right person. No problem. And you can see behind me up here my little Ocean City flag. I put that up there for you, Ron. So, because you guys have been such a great partner of ours for so long. And, that is our hometown, a couple of people that work here. So I have a brother and sister that live up there. So we're really proud of what you guys have done in Ocean City.
That's great. Yeah. And, I know firsthand how important it is for us and continues to be to have our coaches certified and get our parents trained and have our participants go through these different programs that you guys are offering. And it really has made a difference in our programs. It was kind of something new that 9 years when I came to the department, that we were doing one of the transition things we made. So it's been successful. And I would encourage anybody out there that is considering, making the switch and getting everybody certified, it's in value. You can't really set a value on it for the program. So, John, thanks again. I want to say, thanks for sitting down and taking the time to talk with us today. I'm Ron Strickler. This is back our second in our series of vlogs, for the Professional Development Committee and the Young Professionals Network of NRPA. I hope you all enjoy this. Keep your eyes out for our next one coming up, and everybody take care. Thanks again, John.
You got it, Ron. Thanks.